Hello everyone, this is Paul from DLT Trading, and this is part 2 in our Hinderer video. So this is showing the parts that Rick and his crew make in-house, taking that to final assembly, where we'll show pairing of a blade to a lock face, grinding the lock face, and the final assembly, and the attention to detail that it takes to make one of the XM18 folders. Alright Sean, if you don't mind explaining exactly what you are doing right now.
Right now I'm just setting up the lock sides. Since we're matching the blade to the lock side, there's always going to be a little bit of difference in how much you've got to take off of the blade. So lay a bunch of them out so you can find one that's going to be the best fit when we're grinding off the wheel.
Then once you find that one, that blade stays with that frame?
Yes, the blade and the lock side are matched together, and of all the parts that you can change on a knife, you don't want to change the blade, the lock side, or the pivot, because the pivot is what's keeping them together, so everything's even sized for the pivot. Everything else you can change, but you change the blade and the pivot, then you're going to end up with issues with lockup and lock rock and stuff like that.
Alright, so for now you have a blade mounted in a fixture.
Yep, and that fixture's tipped and tipped, so it's the right angle.
And how do you know that you've taken enough off?
When we set up the fixture, we set it so that we know they're all going to start in one spot. Then that first one we grind down and grind down and grind down until we've hit the right amount. Then we start testing them. And off of that one, we're able to get a pretty good start on what the rest of them are going to do. So we set the fixture off of one blade to get in the general area. Then when we get to our end line, it's just a matter of trying them to see if it's where we want them. Okay. And just try a few and see if that's a good starting point. It's better to start a little bit early because we can always take more off.
Sure.
So that one looks like that's a good place to start.
Now we have a secondary operation, so now you are just deburring it?
Yep, just taking that burr off that edge so that it's the detent ball isn't getting scarred up from that, and just clean it up a little bit.
Alright, so now that you've fitted up a blade to a frame, you bring it to final assembly?
Yep. I'm going to put in the lock bar stabilizer and screw. And the handle nuts.
Now I've replaced some hardware here and there on some knives for myself and for customers. Do you have any quick tricks on maybe some places that people can fumble when they're replacing, whether it's the nuts or the standoffs?
The big thing we see is the lock bar stabilizer. When you put it in, you want to push it this way, towards, just to make sure, because if it's this way a little too much, it can run into the lock bar itself.
Okay.
So if you just kind of push it a little bit of tension this way, helps clear the lock bar cutout. And always recommend when you first take it apart, take the clip off, and it lays flat better.
Okay.
When you're changing the scales or whatever.
Oh no, that's a good tip, because I've had it. You have it on your desk or a table, and it's kind of teetering a little bit, and the nuts want to fall out. So, simple trick with the Phillips screwdriver to take the clip off. So, excellent advice. And since these are running G10 scales out of the box, they do have a titanium liner on them, correct?
Yes, and if you put a titanium scale on, the liner doesn't go.
And I do see that you're using a nice quality set of wrenches, which is key, correct?
Yes.
So everybody out there, it's a rather expensive knife, so it's nice to invest a little bit because almost all knives now use very similar bits. So a high quality set of drivers is very good to have around.
Makes a big difference.
Now I see that you're putting that together with the blade half open. Is that the easiest way to do that?
Easiest way for me to hold it.
Okay.
So just can put some tension on the backs of these to help kind of let the screw in tight. Always go from the bottom to the top. I think we need a little more tension on the lock bar. Yeah, tape on a sharp, masking tape on a sharp blade.
Okay, because we did not notice that these, or did not note that these are not yet sharpened.
No,
so that is the final process.
That's the last thing before it goes in the box. So this one needs some more tension on the lock bar, and I'll put a different stop pin in it, get it up a little higher.
All right, so this is where the hand fitting comes into play. Because as you can see, the screws are marked down to the thousandths, and we'd already shown how precise these are measured. So we're looking at 0.100 and 0.103, and so that third digit is the thousandth of an inch.
No, because you just that you already did. So you can check those off. And then I just flip it in another template.
So what exactly did you just do there, Sean?
I needed a little more tension on the lock bar, but I went too far, so I had to take the lock bar stabilizer out to bring it back a little bit.
Okay.
The working finish ones, because they're a little bit rougher, don't always want to flip as well when they're fresh.
I have noticed that out of the box. Might be a little bit longer for the nice break-in smooth, but
still just a little bit. Try that smaller stop pin to see if that helps. Go back the other direction.
All right, and if you're wondering at home, geez, these guys know how to make knives. Again, look at the super tight tolerances and the highest quality that Rick Hinderer knives and the crew here are trying to put out. So sometimes this takes a little bit longer to put these together. I have seen some in being here fall together pretty quickly, but this is what it takes to make the highest quality knife that you can get.
It takes a little time, but I'd rather make it right. Sticking a little bit, so sometimes you just brush off the back, and that makes a big difference. A little bit of dust or oil or something in it. There we go. Make sure everything looks good. Build them all with one screw, and then put a fresh one in last thing so that it's not going to get scratched up from assembly. So you take a screw in and out 3 or 4 times for each knife, and you run the risk of it getting scratched up. So
Got a last little piece, we got the filler tab.
Yep.
And the clip going on.
You send them all out the door, clipped with the tip down, and I don't know, too much coffee this morning. There we go.
Then from here we will take it down to sharpening, correct?
We'll laser the blade first.
Okay.
We'll put our blade marks on them. Then take them down to sharpen, and they get boxed up.
And we got the one of the most important parts, right?
Yes, yes.
That's the sharpening.
Chris does the sharpening. He is a very, very good sharpener. So, you know, they say that the sign of a good teacher is when your student surpasses you. So, does a very good job.
Is that finishing on leather? Is that what that is?
Yeah, leather strop with green chrome rouge on it. So that breaks the wire edge. So as you can see, each one is tested for sharpness and.
Well, that's it for our Hinderer assembly video. I hope you guys can appreciate the work that goes into these knives. And as you can see in the video, the knife didn't just fall together. When you're talking tolerances as tight as, you know, 1/1000th of an inch, which is both the width of a human hair's 1/1000th. You know, it takes a little bit of fine tuning to get the knives together and the quality that Hinderer likes to put out. And taking that knife down to sharpening, which is all hand done on a grinder and finished on a leather strop and tested for sharpness. So just overall a very good experience, you know, seeing how these knives go together, and it was really fun to watch, and I hope you guys appreciate the videos. Thanks for watching.